We felt good about the game. We still feel good about the game. The game is great. The game is in a decent spot, not a great spot, decent spot. And I say that because, you know, if you guys have seen the Jodabi and Mario Gaming World videos, you'll see they've talked about kind of like the state of the game, where it's at. And, you know, it's stuff that we talked about, back in May? You know, we talked about, I think it was titled Bandai Needs to Do Better. I'll link it in the description, wherever we post this, but you can always check that out. We basically we said all the things that they iterated on. IRL tournaments.
I think we talked about, we were one of the few early people because of talking about it, at least on like, you know, YouTube, podcast wise.
YouTube and the Facebook, because at the time, you know, everybody's been thinking that Digimon has been on fire for the longest time. And from the moment that like people were like, oh my goodness, like Digimon is dying, we were like, okay, here's our thoughts and opinions on that, right in line with what we started the podcast for. We talked about IRL tournaments. We talked about what Bandai needs to do. One thing that they said that just, I think this reiterates how important it is. Bandai needs to get more TOs or hire more staff. Who they have is not enough. They need to make a better effort on that part. And obviously, they've been treating One Piece and Battle Spirits better than they've been treating Digimon in terms of both pricing support and IRL tournament support. They took away the store champ Nat invites, which I agree with. I said it back then and I still do agree with it, but I wanted to see more movement from them in regards to how they do it. They passed down invites. That's nice. Invites should have been top 32 passed down, because at this current point, the last time I checked the invite list, there's maybe 100 and
real low right now.
Some players, and sure, there'll be LCQs. I'm sure there'll be LCQs, but it really could have been double that. Like, why cap the amount of revenue that you can bring in? For what reason? I don't know. Well, we talked about all that. And it's not something that like we want to like reiterate on. We don't want to beat a dead horse, you know, Dan. Remember, beat a dead pan. Whatever the fuck you said.
Hey man, drum.
Beat a dead drum. We don't want to beat a dead horse.
And honestly, I was at Nats last year, and Nats, to me, that was a success.
1,000 players, easy, no shot. How much money they made from that? A lot. So I don't know what the plan is, but we did a great podcast on that. Y'all should go give that a check out. Bandai needs to do better. There was probably a follow-up podcast like a couple of weeks later that we kind of like talked about the same thing. But lots of good stuff there. So if y'all want to hear our opinions on that, you can hear it there. TLDR for this is, we think it's in a great state in terms of the game. The game is doing great. The support for the game from Bandai,
not so great.
Title of the podcast, Bandai needs to do better. Straight up. That's what it is. They've been doing better on one part, and now they need to step it up on the other part. If they can do that, Digimon will be a top, it's still a top 5 game in terms of sales. Arguably top 10. Let's say it gets bumped down a couple spots just because of One Piece and Lorcana, whatever. Top 10 game, no shot. And it can continue to be a top 10 game. Bandai just needs to do better.